You know what's weird? That's the part where I'm supposed to push the button. That's the part. That's the part right there at the beginning where we push the button. Button pushing. Son of a gun. You know what I'm talking about. Where's my chat? Where'd my chat go? Oh my God, Steve Bearteach is here. Oh my God, what's going on? It's Monday! Oh, my windows are all crazy. All my computering windows are crazy. There's chat. There's this. Okay, Discord is open for phone calls. Okay, there we go. Now I can see if anybody is calling in on Discord. Okay, what's up? January 9th, 2023. 2023 in the year of our Lord. This microphone stand is becoming floppy. I think I've been attacking this microphone arm stand thing. I don't know. I think I've been attacking it for quite a while now, and I bet you it's this. Yep, it's probably that screw right back there. That one in the back. You can't see it. My arm goes like this. Out to the back, and you can't see it. It's off cam. You know what I'm talking about? If it happens off cam, it didn't happen, right? Pics or it didn't happen, right? It is Monday, the 9th of January, okay? As the title says, are you having fun yet? And it's sort of the, are you having fun yet? I should have looked up this song because this is one of those points where I can't remember the song. What song is that? Is it this? No, it's not that. Well. Oh, here we go. Is it Fatboy Slim? I don't know. I was trying to think of the name of the song, but it was in my head when I made the title. It's not there now. I don't know what it is now. I don't know, some band. Anyhow, let's get through our intro here. First off, we're gonna say a big shout out to everybody in the chat. For some reason, my chat isn't going back far enough, but we'll start at the top. Mikey Fishy, Wesley's Fish Club, Zombie Drummer, Rum Bust, 187 Ghost, Alyssa Bentley, Huawei, otherwise known as Why Are We Always Yelling, Frank Dominguez, myself. Oh, that's me, the Corvus Oskin. That's me, that guy. Yeah. Shout out to Frank Dominguez. What's up? Long time. Attic-dwelling maniac himself. Aubrey, Aquarium Plant Lab, Steve Barteach, Rumbust, Joel G, Steve Bartust, Steve Bartust, the illustrious trumpet man from the deep south of Washington, not the very deep south, but middle south. The middle south trumpet master, Steve Barstarch. I don't know how to say your name right today. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. It's Bearteach. Bearteach. You know how it is. Come on, bros. I don't know. Anyhow. Freaky Fish Lady, Jimmy Gimbal, Crush Don't Rush, Glitch Aquatics, Gen U, everybody's here. But we got to get through, what do you call it? We got to get through the business. The business at the beginning, right? Business at the beginning, because people are going to watch this after the fact, and they're going to miss the business part, okay? This is the part where I tell you guys about industrial strength channel membership, where you can become a member, and it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your pants off. It'll impress your friends, your spouse, whoever. I don't know. People will be impressed. They'll be impressed by your membership stylings. And you can become a member whenever you like. You can do it on stream, off stream. Josh Peters rejoined yesterday. Shout out to Josh. He's not in the chat, but shout out to Josh. What's up, dude? He's got a long-time membership badge. Mad props to you, my guy. Rebecca Lowry re-upped off stream also. So you can do it when you like. You can do it whenever you like. It's all good. This is the business part. Become a member. Sponsor this channel to make content. Currently, right now, I'm extraordinarily busy with all of the crap that goes on in my day-to-day making money and doing jobs and doing things. And it does not leave a lot of time to the YouTube people. So that's why I try to get people to become a member so that we can put more time into making content for you guys. Like earlier in the chat, Wesley's Fish Club was talking about Vivarium in November, and I'm considering trying to go to Vivarium this year. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Looking at the prices, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm going to tell you guys a few things about the ongoings as to the financial BS that's been going on around here. Am I allowed to talk about anything anymore? I'm going to talk about it. I feel like I've been getting kicked right in the balls financially lately with all of the nonsense that has been happening and all of the what do you call it? I don't know. Just everything that's been going on. So we got a membership drive. Okay, we were at 94, and we weren't feeling that number, so we put in 94.15 just so that little extra. Well, some of them went right off the edge of the flat Earth, so we're down to 88 since last week. Patreon actually went up one. Oh my God, somebody became a patron, and that is exciting because that's the first patron in a long time. So. First patron in a long time. It's all good. Some people were like, hey, what are these members going away? What's going on? It's their gifted memberships is basically what has happened. People don't really super chat anymore. People gift memberships to people because I feel like it's a better value than a super chat because it sort of brings more people into the community, maybe even temporarily, but yeah. It brings more people it brings more boys to the yard, like the milkshakes, you know? And it just seems like more value to gift memberships. But we do what we do, and now the business part is done. Hopefully we get some other stuff going on. But since I foreshadowed talking about the aforementioned attack to the crotchal region, as I was speaking of earlier. I don't know. Is that a way to say it? So most of you that have been tracking what's going on know that Victoria and myself went through the process of buying a home in the pandemic. That was insane. That was crazy. We lost $25,000 worth of earnest money, which a small portion of that was refunded via our realtor. Our realtor was like, our realtor's an awesome dude. He really is. And I will go with him again for sure. He's a rad guy. He did a good job. In the frenzy of what was going on, we lost $25,000 worth of earnest money. He refunded us his commission on selling this house, closing the deal on this house that we moved into, which is kind of a big deal. That just means that he worked for free that whole time. And so, we basically lost $20,000 instead. So did it soften the blow? Yeah, for sure. It really did, and it helped build a relationship with a guy that I really like. His family's awesome. So would I pay $20,000 for every friend? I don't know. It seems like a very expensive price to pay for friends, but we got to look at the silver lining, baby, right? We get a cloud. A cloud comes flying out from nowhere, and you have a parade, right? You're just like, I'm out here. I'm tooting my horn in the street. I'm having a parade. I'm doing my thing. And then it just rains right on your parade. Well, you got to find the silver lining. Silver lining is we got a lifelong friendship going. Awesome family, cool people. We're going to hang out more. We do barbecues, all that stuff. So, hey, look, that's the silver lining. And a good thing, and probably long term, no one will care, right? It'll just be one of those things that happened, and we'll all look back and laugh, right? So then we went in to close on this place. We got that done. We kind of had to, we had to like rob Peter. We had to pay Paul. We had to shuck and jive. We had to do all of those things that people do when you're making a deal, right? Make a deal. We had to move money from here, money from there, retirement. Oh, yeah, maybe we'll do, right? So we did all that stuff. All of those things were a happening, and they happened. We bought this house. We knew that this house had some problems. But overall, it is a good house. We like the property. The neighborhood's rad. All of our neighbors are dope. We love all of our neighbors so far. We've met most of our neighbors. Definite upgrade. We're talking about an upgrade, right? It's a double dose. We're talking about a double dose of upgrade. It's got 2 Ds, upgrade for a double dose. Neighbors, rad. This neighborhood is awesome. The only downside is we're going to outlive all of our neighbors, okay? we are the young ones. Oh, look at that young couple over there. Meanwhile, we're in our 40s, right? So that's great. It did cost a lot. Moving was extraordinarily difficult, blah, blah, blah. You guys remember living in the trailer? We had to live in the trailer down by the river for a week because the other house we tried to buy, and then the other house we tried to buy, and then the other house we tried to buy, and then the other house. This was our last option. This house was we were like, F it, we're not moving if this house does not happen, we are not moving. Like, F all this nonsense. We done. That's where we were at, right? And so we ended up closing on this house, but because it was so much later, our dates were all screwed up. We had to get out of the house in the south end, because of the timelines there. We had to get out. We had to vacate the property, and then so we did, and then we were living in our van down by the river. So we put everything. If you guys remember this, we had those pods, those shipping pods. They're like a home style shipping containers, and you stuff everything in there, and then they're like off on a truck. They're just driving them around, waiting for you to call for them. Like, hey, send me my pods, and they're like, oh, and they make a left, and they drive over and crash into your house, and here you go, here's your pods. Actually, those guys were probably the least troubling part of the whole move. Shout out to the shipping pods guys. Those guys were cool. They dropped off the pods. They picked up the pods. There just was no problems. I can't complain. They said they would be like, oh, we're going to pick it up on Tuesday. They'd be here on Tuesday, and they'd pick it up, and then, oh, there they go. All right, pod guys. They're doing their thing. All right. So shout out to those dudes, because they were on the spot. They did the thing. Still costs like an extra $1,000 or whatever. But whatever, who cares? It was pretty I will say it was a pretty pain-free way to move all of your stuff. Put it on the shipping containers, then just have them bring it on the date to where it's going, as opposed to being in that like 1-day schedule of a U-Haul or whatever, and you like push everything into a U-Haul, and then you're driving it up in the middle of the night. Everyone's getting in arguments because they're tired and it's raining, and you're trying to move a bureau out of a, we didn't have to do that. So that was cool. Anyhow, when we moved here, we knew the roof was bad. We knew that the roof was not in good shape. But we were like, look, we've set aside all this money. We have the funds to do it. We'll put a new roof on the house. Boom. $18,000 later. We still don't have a skylight. They're even with how like pain-free getting the roof done was, we still don't have the replacement skylight. So they replaced everything on the roof. They did the whole roof. They did leave a pile of shingles up there, which is pretty infuriating. I had to go up there and get them. That was kind of stupid, but whatever. That's just a basic mistake. I don't think they did it on purpose, and I just think the guys were like, yeah, we're all done. We're good. And they didn't notice that they were up there. It was like a half stack, right? Anyhow, so far the roof has held up very well. During the bidding process, though, the guy looked up at our skylight, and he was like, yeah, it's a standard skylight. I'm not worried about it whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't want to get up and measure it? That's all good. Come to find out, during the roofing process, instead of it being, what is the size? Instead of it being, 96 inches? Yeah. Instead of being 96 by 24, it's 98 by 25 or something goofy. So it's the only skylight in the building, and it's like 8 feet long, and it's in the bathroom. So if realistically, if I'm in the bathroom taking a bath, you could give a little flyby and take a little sneaky peek if you want. I don't know why you'd want to do that. You'd end up with some pretty disgusting footage, but you could. Now, regardless of that goofiness, he was like, oh crap, it's not a standard skylight. I thought it was a standard skylight. And I go like, that's not I didn't do that. You did that. I said, do you want to get on the roof? I've got a ladder. And you said, no, it's fine. I can tell, And I'm like, that okay. And so then he was like, well, I got to order one up. So about every month we talk to him, and he's like, yeah, I'm ordering it, and we're going to get it, And so we'll see. I don't know. Will we ever get a skylight replacement? I don't know. At this point, he was saying that he wanted to refund us the skylight money, and I was like, look, I want the skylight. I don't want the skylight money unless it's $50,000. Right? I mean, unless it's the cost of doing the roof, which was like 18 or 16 or 18. I think it was 18 grand. I don't know. It was a lot, but we knew about it, and we bought this house knowing that the roof needed to get done. Well, we bought this house knowing that the roof needed to get done, and the other thing was the water heater was for sure way out of date, right? I'm like, word. I'll order a water heater. That'll be no big deal. We'll order a water heater. It'll happen. I'll replace it when it's time, when we order one. Well, we had decided that we wanted to get a gas water heater because there's gas, air quote, to this building. The previous owners had the gas meter uninstalled from the property. So all the gas pipes are in the house for natural gas. And there's a pipe in the ground, sticking out of the ground with a cap on it, that's natural gas from the supplier, right? From the natural gas company, out of the ground. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty weird that they would take the gas meter away. They took the gas meter away. So we were like, hey, gas company, we need a gas meter. It's not here. So I don't know. Somebody stole it or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened. They were like, we would never do that. We would never do that with a gas meter. We're a company. We would never do that. Chickity clackety clackety clack. Wait, we did that. You know, it's always great when you talk to somebody, especially at a company like the gas company, and they're like, we would never do that. Hold on, let me check the address file. Oh, crap, it was us. Yes, we've removed the gas meter. We don't know. We put it in the dump. I don't know. So we had to go through the process of fixing all of the gas lines in the building, getting them pressure tested, getting them seal tested, making sure that they're all safe, then get the gas company to come put a meter in. The gas company won't turn on the gas until we have an appliance that they can test that the gas is hooked up, right? We don't want to remodel the kitchen yet to put on a gas range. So, okay, no gas range yet. We don't want to do that right now. Well, we want to do a gas water heater, but we don't want to deal with having no hot water for like a 5-day period or something, however long it takes the gas company to come out and turn on the gas. We didn't want to deal with that. So I was like, let me get that water heater. I'll get it shipped here because it was like 2 weeks out or something. I'll get one ordered, get it shipped here. Once it's here, we'll get it all prepped, ready to go, all the stuff. Then I'll boom, boom, boom. I'll swap it out and make sure it's a day that the gas company can come out and turn on the gas. Because I talked to the guy from the gas company who's in our zone, and he's like, dude, I just live right down the street. If there's a ticket for your house, I'll just come over, right? I'll make sure it's all good. And he gave me his phone number, and he was like, if there's like if the thing is coming up, just give me a call and be like, hey, can you look for my ticket? And he's like, yeah, I'll just come the same day on my way home. I'll do this service call and then just go home. Cause he's like, I live like 5 minutes from here, maybe less. I don't know. Maybe he lives in my backyard and I just don't know about it. Who knows? So we go through that whole process and we're like, okay, we're all primed and ready to go. And then check this out. While Vicky's trying to do her garage sale, because Labor Day, there was a garage sale that was like, I don't know if it's nationwide. I don't know if it's neighborhood-wide. I don't know if it's county-wide. I don't know if it's statewide. I don't know. But there was everybody was out doing garage sales on that day, the Saturday before Labor Day. And that morning, Vicky wakes me up at like 5:30 or something and is like, oh my God, the water heater has exploded. So the water heater popped and didn't damage anything. It was just water is going and it's going out the garage like the way that it's supposed to go. And I was like, oh, great. I got to replace that right now. Didn't have an opportunity to replace it with a gas water heater because I needed one same day. So I went and got a hybrid one. I told you, I've told the Home Depot story of buying the hot water heater a few times. It's very comical. Go over to Dr. Black 66 channel. I said it over there on live stream. It's pretty good. Anyhow, so I replaced it with a hybrid water heater that runs off of a heat pump. Okay, it's working pretty good. No real complaints, except for when there's like a lot of family here. Like you got to turn it. You have to switch it on to the high mode, the high heat mode. I forget what it's called, like high capacity or something. You can turn it on so that it runs the compressor and the coils inside it. So it's using a lot of electricity at that time, but it's high demand. So it's meeting your high demand. You need lots of water. Everyone's taking showers, right? So you know how it is. But yeah, so we go through that whole rigmarole. That was a big pain in the butt. And you're like, okay, I think we're good on the pains. Let's be good on the pains. As you guys know, I took down the trees. That took a bunch of money up. I milled we milled half of the lumber. We haven't milled the other half of the lumber because the guy that owns the wood mill, his mom is dying, so he's in hospice care with her. Okay, bummer. We'll just wait on that. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out. And then and this list is like, it's getting exponentially long to the point where I'm starting to lose track of what's going on. Vicky gets breast cancer. She has to get a mastectomy. We go through all of that. Then we get back, and there's somehow rats have gotten into our crawl space. So all of the insulation in the crawl space, everything down there has to come out. Turns out at some point in time there were rats in the attic, even though the previous owner, the guy who was selling this house, who did the air quote remodeling, anyhow, had just put in blow-in insulation over the insulation that at one point in time had rats in it. It's just been hemorrhaging. Money has just been hemorrhaging out the door for the last 6 months, and I don't think I'm having fun yet, guys, because I don't even have an aquarium with water in it. I feel like if I just sprayed water into an aquarium with a garden hose at this point, I would somehow be crushing the game, right? Which is so dumb. I just can't even wrap my mind around it. I can't even wrap my mind around how stupid the prospect of just spraying some water at an aquarium at this point would be. Way further ahead than where I'm at right now. And I just don't even know what to say about it. As they say, hopefully the new year brings a new year or whatever. But yeah, I have to admit, I'm pretty frustrated. But we did get a new member today, so we can actually change the number. Thank you very much, Rumbust, for the gifted membership. So Preston gets to live on as a member for another month, free of charge. So, excuse me. I'm getting the phlegm from bitching. Sorry. So right now I'm tired of the stress being turned up to 11, as Mikey Fishy says. I could turn the water heater up to 11, but I feel like the stress has been up at 11. The stress has been up at 11 for way too long. Spinal Tap doesn't even like it. The mini Stonehenge is way too small, right? If you guys have seen Spinal Tap, I know. I'm like 1,000 years old. I get it. But I feel like the stress has been up at 11 for a while, and it's been way too long. I enjoy a good 2 weeks of stress 11, maybe even a 3-week period of 11. I like, hey, we got the ups and downs. Hey, we got the topsy-turvy. We got that topsy-turvy stress. Okay, that's just how life is. Word, I get it. It's all good. But I'm getting pretty fed up with the month in, month out of 11 turned all the way turned all the way up to 11 stress level. I think it's ridiculous. It's funny. I was talking to Bentley Pascoe the other day. He came by. He stopped by the Aquarium Co-op to. I don't know what he was doing. I didn't ask him what he was doing. I should have asked, like, were you dropping off fish or picking up fish or getting food? I don't know what he was doing. He came by. He just stopped by for about 5-10 minutes to say hi on his way to head back home, and he's wondering how everything was going. And I was like, look, I mean, my gratitude is high. There's a lot of silver linings. Like I said, like, we lost all that earnest money, but we gained a new family friend. So I'm like, there's a silver lining there. At least that's like, you're gonna keep, like, the things going, right? Like, things are gonna keep going. And you're like, okay, I'm cool with that. All right, that's good. It's, it's all good. But I'm like, the gratitude is high. The stress is high. I'm like, I just bring the stress from 11 to, like, give me an 8. You know what I mean? Give me a full functioning stress level of Ocho, right? I could deal with that. Sorry, you have a permanent case of the Mondays. I don't know if I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, I feel like having the Mondays would be more functional than I'm at right now, because like I'm telling you, the breast cancer diagnosis is like that's a real strong one, right? Where you're like, what the I mean, you're as a dude, I mean, I don't know, as just a guy, right? As just a hombre who's wandering around, would be like, hey, you want me to whack that thing with a hammer or something? I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, just be supportive. And I'm like, that is not descriptive enough as to what I am supposed to do. What are you doing? What are you doing to me right now? Hey, doc, what are you doing? I need some good advice. I don't need some half-ass, just do good stuff guy, right? Like, I don't need that. That's not good advice. I need profoundly descriptive advice, my guy. And they were like, just be supportive. I'm like, okay. What does that mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's very weird. I don't know. I just, it's, the breast cancer thing is just, and I went through that before with Genevieve, and just being the guy who's like, oh, I don't know. Do you feel bad? Do you need a hug? Like, oh, hugging you hurts real bad. Okay. And you don't need a hug. Do you need a sandwich? Oh, do you feel like throwing up? You feel very nauseous and sick. Okay, you need some do you need Tylenol? I can do Tylenol. I'll get the Tylenol. Let me make that happen. Wow, look at me. I'm the Tylenol guy. Yeah. So, just things like that. The skylight, I could fix it myself. I could honestly just order a skylight, take that one off, put the new one on. But it's a point of, like, you said you were going to do it, so come do it. Like, at this point, it's not even the money thing with the skylight. I'm like, you said you're going to do the skylight. Go ahead and do the skylight. I like the guy. I like their company. They did a good job. Other than the skylight situation, which the skylight situation was totally, like, understandable at the time. At the time, I was like, I get it. Turns out it's a different size. We will wait for you to order the new one. It'll take a while, I guess. 6 months seems excessive, but I don't know. Like, maybe 6 months is how long it takes to make a skylight. I don't know. I'm not the skylight guy. I'm not the skylight king. Okay. So maybe maybe it's totally normal. But at this point, to me, I'm like, you said you're gonna do it, so just do it. Like, that's the option now. The option is you said you do it, so you're gonna do it. Like, I'm just gonna hold you to it. I'm telling you, the rats in the basement, though, that we don't have a basement. I keep saying basement. Maybe my brain's broken. Probably true at this point. My brain is probably broken, but rats in the crawl space is just a real kick in the pants. And to be honest, like, it would have been so much nicer to do that in the summertime, because I could have gone down there. I could have put all new plumbing in. I could have checked out every little bit of wiring. Made sure everything was legit, 100%. But it was you got to get it done. It's wintertime. You just, believe you me, you don't want the drafts coming up from the floor when it's 8 degrees outside, right? And if you're international, it's negative 1,000 Celsius or something. I don't know what that is. What is it? 8? Okay, 8 Fahrenheit to Celsius. Let's see. Negative 13.3. Hold on. Let's go 7. Is 7? 6? Let's see. Are any of these round numbers? 5. 5 degrees is negative 15 Celsius. This is why I like Fahrenheit better. It's more accurate. It has smaller steps. You international folks can be mad all you like, but Fahrenheit has smaller increments to get more accurate. Whereas Celsius, you got to be all like, it's 15.3222 repeating. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, that's why I like Fahrenheit. And because I'm American, that's what I learned when I was a kid. And it's more precise, so I enjoy it for that. But do what you like. You like kilometers? Is it 1,000 meters long? Somebody, please, dear God, tell me you know how to just look and see 1,000 meters outside. It's just as arbitrary as the mile being 5,680 feet, right? Is a mile 5,680 feet? Mile in feet. No, it's 5,280 feet. I didn't even get that right. Told you, my brain. Stress level 11 for too long. My brain's broken. I don't even know how many feet is in a mile. I mean, seriously. I'm going to have to go find only 5,280 feet, line them up, then I'll know exactly what a mile looks like. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just saying. Freshwater ichthyology says I like Celsius. It's easier to visualize. Water itself boils at 100, freezes at 0. Water boils at 212. Everyone knows that. You goof. I like Fahrenheit because it's more accurate. You don't have you have more increments. I like, even though it's weird, and the numbers are weird, and the numbers are all crazy. I like that it's more. It has more incremental increments in increasing and lowering, right? The fact you had to check feet to a mile says you should change to metric. No, never. It's never going to happen. They tried it in the 70s. We're never going to change it now. Now, are you kidding me? There are people still claiming that the 2020 election was rigged. So, do you think we're going to change ever? No, I don't think so. I have a pack rat that takes things like money, jewelry, anything he can. Oh, my God. I have to admit, all rats are going to die. Within whatever, what's the metric radius of my home? What's the radius area? Within 100 meters. Like from the center of my house within 100 meters, I'm going to murder every single rat. Although, oh my God, I was driving earlier today because I took Olivia to school. I was driving home and it was 9 in the morning. It was full sunlight out, and there was a busy street. Hey, do the math on this. It's 45 miles an hour speed limit. How many kilometers is that? How many kilometers? MPH2KMH. Here we go. 72.4. Guys, it's 72.4 kilometers an hour. That's the speed limit on this road. 2 lanes, center turn lane, 2 more lanes. Is that a 5-lane road? Probably. I don't know. Big road. There's this mouse running around, dodging and bobbing and weaving and dodging cars. It was unbelievable. I blew my mind. I almost pulled over to I thought somebody's domestic mouse was out or something. I don't know. There's a Petco near there, so maybe Petco has lost a mouse. Maybe Petco lost a mouse or something. One of their captive raised mice was out there running around in traffic. I'm not 100% sure. But it was pretty buck wild. I'll tell you that. I do try and get used to metric measurements so I can communicate about fishes to the rest of the world. Yeah, I normally, if I make a video, I normally convert for the metric peeps, for the metric homies. Trust me, I wish the whole world went off of one measuring. It would be so much better if it was just one of them. But I don't think that the U.S. will ever likely ever convert. I don't think it'll ever happen. A 5-way road, 5 lanes each way? No. 2 going this way, 2 going that way, and then a middle lane for turning. Right? Do they have that in England? Do they have a center turn lane in England? Let me see. Center turn lane in England. Are you in England or the UK or whatever you call that? Oh, no, you guys have a center lane reversible lane. Okay. What? Do you have a center turn lane? Typical 5-lane arterial equipped with a center turn lane. So, but I don't know if this count. I don't know if you have this. The turn lane in New Zealand and a flush median with a raised median in the forefront. Typical old-style suicide lane set up in the United States. Yeah, it's weird here. It's weird here in the States. We have suicide lanes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys don't have them in England. I don't know. No, because you guys, this is not. That's a reversible flow. That's a tidal lane. I don't know. Maybe you'll have to look it up. I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find like an article that explains like British roadways or something. I don't know. Central turning lane full length. What is this? I'm not looking at that. That's crazy. I'm gonna stop. Anyhow, the whole point of the story is there's a lot of traffic and there was a mouse just running around out there in the traffic, and I thought it was buck wild. And I'd never seen something like that during the daytime. Yeah, it was wild. Mickham, hi, I'm waiting for some new epistogramma. Oh, I'm not going to try and say that. Era Mompaigi, is that right? I don't know. I believe there's supposed to be 3.3. Why is there a comma there? 3.3 centimeters? Is it 3.3? Oh, I know. Oh. In the EU, you guys throw a comma in there all the time instead of a decimal point, right? Okay. You guys are weird. I'm going to look up these epistos. There's probably like a street name for them. Aquarium Glazer's like the first post. I'm going to tell you guys, I want to go back to Aquarium Glazer so bad. I want to go back there so bad. And I want to go back with a list of questions, and I want to interview the Aquarium Glazer people. I want to go back with a preparation. I didn't know what to expect last time that I went on the tour. The last time I went on the tour of Aquarium Glazer, I didn't know what to expect. I brought my camera. I was like filming tanks and stuff, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I should have been more prepared, but I didn't know what to be prepared for, but now I know what to be prepared for. So I want to go back. I don't know. I swear, all of these times that I've gone out to go like film stuff, those should have been a scouting trip. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but they scout locations when you make a documentary, when you make a movie, when you make anything that has a budget more than $3 in my pocket. You would scout the location. You would go out. You would contact people ahead of time. You would do all that kind of stuff. You would work with somebody in the background to be like, let's write a script, so we like know what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. But all of those times I went were like a scouting trip. And I would love to be able to return to some of these places knowing like, this is what this place looks like. Here's the interesting things. I want to ask questions about these interesting things. I want to get extra footage of how these interesting things function. Like when I was at Aquarium Glazer, we weren't allowed to film in the breeding project rooms. Like they breed the spotted Congo puffers, right? The Schaudadenai, however you're supposed to say it. Everyone's going to tell me I say it wrong, so I'll just say spotted Congo puffer. How about that? Right? Which is probably one of the reasons that Americans don't want to say things in Latin, because whenever we do say something, we don't say it in a Thai accent or an Australian accent or Egyptian accent or a British accent or a Spanish accent or a Portuguese accent or an Italian accent or a German accent or a Russian accent, right? I get all the comments for it that like, oh my God, it's unbelievable, you morons in the States. Like, hey man, I'm a product of my environment just the same that you guys are too, all right? I don't speak Russian. because I don't live in Russian or in Russian. I don't live in Russia, right? But the spotted Congo puffer breeding project that they had there, they were like, do not film this. And out of respect, of course you don't, right? You're like, okay, yeah, I'm totally not going to do that. So of course we didn't film it, but here's the deal. I would have loved to have been at least mildly prepared to ask questions about like issues that they've had with breeding, because like maybe you don't film the project, but go like, hey, what are some of the issues that you've had? Like maybe you don't have to tell us like how you overcame them, but like maybe just tell us some of the issues. And then I could just use some stock footage of my puffer and combine that into something that is like, oh, and then maybe somebody that's super industrious at home would go like, oh, okay, they ran into those problems. I'm going to try my methodology to try to overcome those on my own. And at least it gives me a kind of a direction to go in with like a breeding project that would be considered very difficult like that. Because at the time that we went to Germany, we went and we met with Marcus, and he was an independent guy, but he was like the first guy who was breeding those, right? He was the first guy that successfully bred those. I went and saw his presentation with him in his living room on his laptop. It's kind of wild to like see somebody's like presentation that they normally give in front of a audience, like a captive audience on stage or whatever, and then just be like, oh, hey, stop it right here. What are you talking about right there? What was that? And he's like, oh yeah, all right, hold on, right. But he didn't want anyone to film it because it's something that he makes money from, like giving that presentation. It's a paid speaking thing that he does, right? So it makes sense, but also at the same time, I could have like more directly interviewed him about some of his other projects, but since we were so focused on the Congo puffers, like I could have asked him more about he has the hairy puffers, those guys. What are the hairy puffers called? Hairy puffers. What are they? What's their Tetradon Bailey eye? I don't know. They're so cool. They're just weird little creeps. But he was like breeding those like crazy, and I probably could have been like, oh, let me ask these questions that I have, but about these guys, because he didn't care about he didn't care about giving away secrets about the hairy puffers, right? Because those a lot of people are breeding those, so it's not that rarity that he has an income around it. And his hairy puffer tank was like, there was so many in there. I mean, I think it was probably, I want to say that the tank size was, from memory, it was probably something like 29 gallons, 25 gallons, something like that. It was a very small tank, and he had like a lot of them in there. It was very active. It was very cool. And maybe I could have just focused on asking him questions about that, but it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do? Hindsight being 2020 and knowing that I want to go back is that I've started to learn that like, I'm going to go to a location and I want to go there and I want to check it out and I want to see what's going on. And then I want to come back later with all of the stuff and the questions in my head about like what it is that's going on there. So I think, that's one of the big reasons. Like, I want to go back out and visit Johan, go to Vivarium, be a return person going to Vivarium and being like, all right, there's that thing. These are the things I want to do ahead of time. There's these store locations I want to go to. Those ones I don't want to go back to. These ones I do. These breeders, blah, blah, blah. And then go back and, basically at this point, a lot of the stuff's going to revolve around talking about the pandemic, like how they got through it, like what did they encounter because of that. But also like they all have sorts of breeding projects and fish on hand that you could definitely ask about from the last time I was there. So, yeah, it's one of those weird things. Aubrey says, I know how to pronounce some Latin words in my mind, but not with my mouth. That's true. You definitely unpracticed. That's definitely not something that we practice on a regular basis in the States. Hey, did everybody hit the like button? YouTube says I'm supposed to tell you to hit the like button, so I'm doing it. I will do what the robots tell us. Hit the like button, subscribe, become a member, gift memberships to everybody, super chat, whatever. I don't know. Do all of this stupid stuff you're supposed to do. Okay, there we go. Moving on. I don't know. The reminder comes on, and I'm supposed to say stuff. Yeah. And no one knows how the Greeks or Romans actually spoke, and they had regional accents like we all do. That's very true. And here's the weird thing. Has anybody, have you guys looked into the Appalachian accent is actually Old British? So the legendary language of the Appalachian Holler, the Southern Mountains, and the conservatives of old, early, and Elizabethan English in the world. So, have you ever heard the hillbillies talk from the Appalachians in the United States? There is a lot of evidence that points towards that being how the British used to speak. Because those people were basically isolated to an area with maintaining an accent that was basically had no outside input on what their accent is, and that this is probably what the commoners sounded like in England is the people in the Appalachians in the States. Which is funny to think about, all of the British people just sounding like hillbillies, right? Just sounding like hillbillies, and that's probably the reality of the British just started acting like, we're very posh. I'm like, okay, got it. I'm so jealous. I honestly don't know what I did wrong with them. Uh-oh, what are we talking about? Aubrey, you got to practice in the shower or something? What's Alyssa talking about? Let's see. What? A lot of sign. You have any juveniles left for the pair? Oh, okay. You just lost your female a couple days ago. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a bummer. You have breeding Okay. Got it. Apparently, Americans speak closer to Old English than we do. The trick to scientific names is sounding confident. Scientists will know what you mean. Yeah, that's true. Oh, the Banshee Apistos. I don't even know how to say that right. Lost for Alyssa. Yeah, that's a bummer, dude. I hate to hear that. That's one of the issues with, like, breeding fish. Yeah, Alyssa's talking about breeding, and then Solana says when you take those all out of context, it sounds like Alyssa is talking about breeding in the shower. It's true. Hey, man, as they say, perfect practice makes perfect. And if you got to practice in the shower, you got to practice in the shower, right? We use a comma instead of a point and don't use anything as thousands divider. Oh, okay. Yeah, the comma instead of a point is weird. That is so weird. Oh, and you don't use anything as a thousands divider. Oh, okay. I mean, that part makes sense, but the comma in place of a point makes no sense to me. That's just very weird. So if you find a rat's nest, it will be a treasure trove. That's true. the pack rat that she's the pack rat they got. Yeah, you better find the nest. A fuzzy rat I haven't been able to trap. It's very smart. Yeah, some rats are like that. That's true. NASA is already using metric. Imperial units are defined in metric units. That's true. That's true. But I don't work at NASA, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do carry metric and standard of all sockets and wrenches and everything. So yeah, I'm familiar. I work. The 10 millimeter is always lost. Okay, let's be honest. In my opinion, Steve, what's up, Big Shrimpin'? Big Shrimpin' Steve is our only producer level member. I hope you guys know that. Big Shrimpin' is producing. He's at producer level. Okay, that just goes to show you. In my opinion, I'd much rather go into crawl space in the winter, less bugs and snakes and critters. Plus, it doesn't completely suck to wear the Tyvek suits. So I don't care about the bugs. We don't really get snakes around here. I mean, we get snakes, but they're like garter snakes or whatever, so who cares? Critters, yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's less critters in the winter, but like they're probably in the crawl space in the wintertime and maybe not in the summer because they might be out on the loose. They might be out in the street doing weird stuff. But actually more to the issue with how cold it was here. If we were to take out all of the insulation in winter, all of our pipes and everything would have froze. We would have had lots of problems. So the guy, whoever worked on this house previously before, they built everything with CPVC piping, which, as you guys know, you guys all know this. You guys all know this. If that stuff gets cold, it's cracking open, no problem, okay? So the problem is if they take all that insulation out in the wintertime here, I got to get it back in. I got to get everything re-insulated, and that clock is ticking very quickly. If it's 8 degrees outside, it's 8 degrees in my crawl space, which means that water's freezing. And if you remove all the insulation and all that kind of stuff, there's probably a little more airflow down there. A little more airflow, sub-zero temperatures, those pipes are going to be broken in no time. So there is like technically a way that they could remove all of the insulation and insulate just the piping and stuff. Obviously, that's going to be more cost, and then they got to come back to redo stuff. So the company that we went with remediated everything, cleaned up everything, replaced the moisture barrier. They took all the old stuff out. They cleaned out the crawl space. They tacked up screening, spray foam, all of that kind of stuff, everything that needed to be done, every hole, every possible entry point was remediated, closed up. They can't get out. They built a new door into the basement, all that kind of stuff. They put all the new insulation in one day. That all had to be done. At the day that they were here, the high temperature was 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know, negative 30 in Celsius. I think it's negative 12 or something, minus 12. CPVC sucks. It is the worst. I will rip it all out and put in PEX A. But I'm going to have to do that in the summertime when things aren't going to freeze. So, yeah, I will do it. It will happen when the weather is better because the one-man crew doing the stuff, I get worried about it all getting done in one day, right? Osmosis problems can keep on when changing water a lot also. Oh, what are we talking about? Well, let's stay on the CPVC for a second, and then I'll read back and see what Mickham's talking about. CPVC pipe definitely sucks. As much as I don't like PEX, it's a better product. Upnor by name brand. Yeah, I like PEX. I like running PEX. I hate running copper. There's just way too much stupid crap with all of the soldering, right? Especially soldering in a crawl space. Dude, I don't know how many times I don't know how many times I've gotten a call because there's a pinhole leak in some pipe because the soldering was done in a base or in a crawl space where somebody, had very limited space. They did a good enough job. It lasted a little while, and then not for naught, there'd be a call, and then your boy be crawling around to go figure out what's going on. But I prefer PEX A to PEX B. I like PEX A. It's a little more flexible. It's a closed cell design, or what is it? What is it called? It's not closed cell. What's that called? Let me look it up. PEX A cell type. I don't know. There's a way to explain it. Wow, look at this comparative genomics of peroxisome biogenesis proteins. If you look at PEX, you get PEX genes. Crazy. Cross-linked polyethylene, that's what it's called. So the weird thing about PEX is PEX A. I'm not sure about PEX B. I don't think PEX B is the same. But PEX A, you can do a lot of stuff to it. It can get bonked. It can get kinked. And so, yeah, PEX B, you can't do this. So PEX B, if you... Do I have like a piece of... I don't have anything here for a hand. Wish I had like a straw or something. Think about a straw, right? You got a straw from whatever cool place you get your takeaway from. Probably some really cool place that you go to. Certainly not one of those big, goofy, ridiculous chains that have a clown as their mascot, right? Certainly not anything clownish like that, right? Say you go to Bob's Burger, right? You get that straw, okay? And you give it a kink, right? Kink that straw, and it has that, it's all kinked up and weird, and it might crack, and it might do all that stuff. If you kink that in PEX B, it's garbage. Cut it, throw it away. PEX A, if you kink it, you can heat it back up lightly. Don't use MAP gas. MAP gas is too much. Use the propane. Use the blue tank. Not the yellow tank. Use the blue tank. Heat it up, and it will return back to its regular state. So, but, the tool to do the ends for the PEX A, it's very expensive. The damn thing's like $600 or something to open up the fittings. But when you're doing PEX A and you have that tool already, it's way cheaper, and you run into way less problems. And I think like the so PEX A versus B burst pressure. Here we go. Because I think A has a higher burst pressure. Bottom line, PEX A is more resistant to burst pressure than PEX B. Right? Yeah, let me see. What are the readings? Yeah, so PEX A is a little bit more expensive on the pipe itself, but the fittings are cheaper. The sleeves are cheaper. Yeah, and PEX A is more... Okay, here we go. Looking at these two pipes side by side, PEX A and PEX B are almost the exact same size. However, the difference lies in the flow restriction. So this is a big deal. So PEX A maintains the same internal size of pipe whenever you put a fitting on it. PEX B, it gets smaller. That's another thing. And then the burst pressure... Where's the burst pressure? Oh yeah, use a heat gun. Don't use the torch if you can get it. I'm all just use colder temperature gas, but they say use a heat gun, which does make sense. And I do have a heat gun, but I never think to go get it for that. I just use the torch because I'm probably a psycho or something. I'm probably a crazy person. Big Shrimp and Steve says, "Are you a plumber? I've been plumbing for 25 years, and I don't know the difference between the types of PEX." I'm an amateur plumber. I would not say I'm a professional. I specialized in repair and replace, not design and implementation of like new systems or anything like that. But I've done a ton of irrigation also on top of it, and I love doing irrigation. Irrigation is so much fun. I love doing it, but that doesn't matter because the reason I like doing irrigation also is because it ties in a lot to keeping fish tanks. It really does. Where are the burst pipe ratings? That's what I want to see. Where are they? I don't know. Somebody else will have to look them up, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, PEX A is cross-linked, whereas PEX B is... No, PEX B is cross-linked with the angle method, and then PEX B uses moisture, steam, to do it. Where's the burst rating, though? I know that I don't know. I can't find the burst rating right now, but if memory suits, PEX A's burst rating is higher, but whatever. Somebody will find a chart, and they'll email it to me and be like, "What are you, a stupid idiot?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I am. Thanks for sending me the chart, Chief." Sport. And it'll be a wild interaction, and we'll all love it. We'll love it to death. Can you get a new female anywhere? Okay, what is going on? Oh, what's going on with Mickham here? Strange with the darkness, but I kept water change bacteria issue. What is Mickham? I'm scrolling back. I have soft water plus plants and caves. The most common mistake people do is change a lot of water for apistos. Water changes kickstart aggression in males, so if female is not ready, trouble will happen. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense, and I've definitely heard this in the past with apistos that you really don't want. You don't want to be doing water changes and stuff like that. They're like the opposite of autos, right? Which just kind of makes sense because if apistos are from pretty stagnant bodies of water, then they're going to interact way differently with water changes than like stream fish, right? I can check with redfish, bluefish, and see if he's got any spares. That reminds me, I need to go out to redfish, bluefish. I want to go out there and check it out. I haven't been out there because it's on an island, bro. What island is it on? Whidbey? Redfish, bluefish, fish store. Greenbank, out there in old Greenbank. Yeah, Whidbey Island, right? Where's my directions? Here we go. Boom. Well, I mean, this is why. I got to take a ferry, and I got to drive around. Actually, that might be the hotness to go up, because then I could go across, what's that called? Yeah, I can go across Deception Pass and take some hot photos of a crazy bridge. If you guys don't know, hold on. Deception Pass. Okay, here we go. Which I want to go camping up there this year. It's not very far from here. It's like an hour and 15 minutes or I don't know, something like that. And I want to go camping up there this year, but I don't know. I don't know if the girls want to go. I'll have to ask. Oh, he's by appointment only? Okay, well, I'll have you contact him or something. I'm trying to find an image here right now, guys. Let me get my let me get these images on. Okay, here we go. This is kind of cute. Where's the I want to see some sexy photos of a bridge. Oh. Do we not have clarity? Like what? This looks like it was shot on a potato. Somebody was out there potato phoning it up. Is this as good as it gets? I swear I've seen like really cool pictures of Deception Pass. Okay, hold on. Let me get the... Let me show you guys what I'm looking at. We gotta push buttons here. Oh, we gotta do that. Okay. We're gonna do this. Okay. Everybody gonna like it. Okay. Yeah, so like this is Deception Pass. I don't know. But let me find this place is cool. There's the bridge. There's this old-timey bridge that goes across and does this loop-de-loop. It goes across the island and everything. Like, I'm having issues for whatever reason finding beautiful photos of it. Normally there's like 9,000 beautiful photos of how this bridge go, right? Pretty good. This just looks like somebody photoshopped an image, but what are you gonna do? You can't always get what you want, you know. But if you try, sometimes you get what you need. Oh, we don't want that. That's like a beer ad. Demonetized. Yeah, here you go. There's a good aerial picture, right? Of the Jim Jam. This looks like it was old, but I bet somebody just put a filter on it. Anyhow, I want to go up here and hang out and do some camping like these guys. I don't have an Airstream, though. I just have a regular little RV that I bought from my great second grandpa. Great whoever? My cousin's grandpa. Yeah. Yes. 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 Oh, there you go. From space. From flying up in the sky. As they say. Take a look. It's in a book. It's reading rainbow. Yeah. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, we scared off all the other people, okay, guys? We scared them off. So they better hit the like button, whoever they are. Because that was very interesting internet that I was just doing right there. It was very interesting. And everybody loves it. Whidbey Island. Yeah, it's out there on Whidbey Island. There's two ways to get there. You can take a ferry boat, or you can go over that bridge. Some people are scared of bridges, and they wouldn't want to go over that bridge because it's old-timey. You know what I mean? It's an old-timey, scary bridge. Nick and Bree Sambo say, very pretty, top 10 spots in Washington. I'll show you the top 10 spot in Washington. I can show you some of my pictures. We'll have to find them. Where did I put them? The files are in the computer. Let's go to this PC. Then we'll go to this hard drive. This hard drive? Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Let's see. Add source. Video file. Here we go. And then we want to go to this. This here. Then we go to this drive. Then we go to drone footage. And we could probably find it. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Let's see if we can add it. Let's see if it'll run. This has not been rendered down, so it's probably going to crush. Go over. There we go. This is the spot. Right here. Pause. Let's see if we can get it to play. This is the raw footage, so it's like my computer's like, oh my god. Yeah, this spot. This is the number one spot. Okay. You guys get it. It's not going to play because it's the raw footage. Sorry. Let's remove that. Then we can go over here to image file. We can go to image. Well, let me move the window over here. Thanks, computer. Jeez. Being so mean. We can go to over here and have like a edited picture. Let me see. If I knew what drive it was in. Oh God, I'm on it. I'm on it. It's happening. Where's the falls? I don't think any of this is edited in here, but this is the right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Look at that, my guy. There we'll go. We'll make it big. Where's Nick and Bree? There you go. I tried to play the raw footage. That was a bad idea. The computer was not liking that. It's like this wacky file type too. It's all like, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm trying to encode some crazy raw footage. Stop. You're doing too much. But yeah, this right here, that's the Palouse Falls. Taken from the lookout point. And this place is a #1 spot. This is a #1 spot. It might not be #1. It might be #3, but it's definitely top 10. It is very beautiful. It is out of the way, though. It is out of the way. You got to legit drive to it. It is out of the way. You drive past some places where there's dudes just hanging out on their porch chewing on wheat. You know what I mean? They got the wheat hanging out of their mouth. Drive by a lot of that. Yep. And when you stop by to the corner store or whatever near there, they're like, "What are you doing here?" And you're like, I just wanted to buy some gummy bears. I heard they were real good here." And they didn't like the, they don't take kindly to strangers. They weren't mean or anything. They were just like, "What? Okay. We'll sell you gummy bears." I have had a Pistos spawn at day 2 when new in a small plastic quarantine tank. Keep the female inside a guppy net standing in it, plus a cave for her. Male fertilize the eggs through the net. I mean, we gotta stay strong here and go like on day 2 you had them spawn. I mean, I feel like they must have been spawning before that, but that's wild, dude. And if you got luck like that, keep it up, because that is good stuff. Da-na-na. Yeah, but I would definitely recommend going out to Palouse Falls, especially if you're a nature enthusiast, a water enthusiast, a fish enthusiast, whatever, man. It's just a beautiful time to go out there. You definitely want to try to go when it's not too busy, because the parking lot's really small, although it's fairly accommodating, because it's a landmark, so they do have a restroom there if you need to go to the bathroom. They have some mowed grass. You can chill and have a picnic. You can do whatever. So they're accommodating as best they can, but I don't think anybody's like donating money to the cause. It's literally like this little sliver of the state budget gets dedicated to providing a service for the people, right? Yeah, that's us. We're the people. Oh my God, it is raining like cats and dogs out there all day today. The rain. It's made it kind of difficult to really like plan doing anything that I was going to do outside, because it's just too moist, bros. You know me, I'm a big fan of moist, but it's overtly moist. It's overly moist. Seems like we had people show up earlier, but they all left now, so that's good. We got rid of them. Got rid of those hooligans. Anyhow. So what are we supposed to do for the next hour? I don't really have that much to talk about. And you guys are just talking about breeding apistos. Unless they do a 50% water change every 3 days and up their aggression as if it was a pleco tank. Will often take a day or two before hormone kickstart result in a spawn. Oh, that's true. I don't know. I never had problems breeding apistos when I had them. They just kept breeding. I couldn't get them to stop. I've generally, like, whenever I've kept apistos, I ended up giving them away because I was like, I can't deal with this. Like Crebensis, same deal. I'm like, there are so many babies in here swimming around. I just can't deal with this. Well, mainly because, like, once they get full grown, they're all going to be getting all territorial and kind of like, not necessarily like being bad or whatever. They're just going to kind of trash up the tank, a little bit. So I end up getting rid of them. That's why it's always so hard for me to keep the bristlenose plecos forever, because they're always kind of rooting around down there. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like them more that I'm like, oh, I got to keep these guys. Sorry, working on some work drama after work. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Zero Life Balance. The 21st century requires zero work-life balance. You got to be on those emails. You got to be on the... You got to have your phone on at all times. Somebody's going to call. They're going to need to know about something. There's no work balance anymore. Even if you're just a teacher, when you don't get to go home anymore, you have to constantly be available. I had the green room open in case somebody calls in. What's Alyssa doing? You're not supposed to. I could call in. You're just supposed to call in. The phone lines are open. So you're just supposed to call in. And then we go, oh, my God, Alyssa's called. Let's see. Let's delete all of these emails because we don't want them. Delete all, right? You ever thought about doing that? Just go into your email and just delete all. Oh my God! Did anybody see over the weekend a 6-year-old shot their teacher? It's insane. That is a level of insanity I didn't think would ever happen. What's up, dude? Oh my God! Alyssa called in.
I did.
Oh my God, we have a caller. We have a call, line 1. Welcome to the show. You are live on the internet, so don't give out your, I don't know, GPS coordinates.
Sweet. I would like to request Freebird.
Oh, you'd like a Freebird? Okay. Well, we don't. No, we don't play Freebird. Sorry. We don't.
Stairway to Heaven.
I mean, I think we'll get a copyright strike. So we have to play. We only take non-copywritten. Well, I have music, but I have to own the rights to it. So yeah, that's our problem, caller. Our problem is that we don't have the hits back to back at the top of the hour. We don't have that. Sorry, we don't have another rock block coming up in Rocktober or whatever.
What about the lesser known Stairway to Elevator to Hell?
The Elevator to Hell? I wonder.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up and see if I can see that or not. If I can play that.
There should be one. It would be really funny.
I don't know. I get copyright claims constantly for whatever. I mean, I got a copyright claim on a live stream that didn't even have intro music.
Oh. They just decided that they were just gonna see if anything sticks.
Yeah.
Like
oh yeah. Like if you don't challenge it, they'll just be getting revenue.
Right. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
They just be like, "Oh, we're taking your revenue. Don't worry about it. That's fine. Yeah. It's cool."
You don't need it, right? I mean, you don't got bills. You're independently wealthy, right?
Dude, I wish, man. I wish. I wish I would be setting up an aquarium right now and live streaming that. That's what I'd be doing.
That's the life right there.
Yeah, that's the life. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be live streaming, listening to copywritten music, you know, and we'd be live streaming that, and that's what we'd be doing.
It'd be awesome.
That's the weird thing. You guys gotta watch out now because I don't know if you guys know this about me, but oh, hold on. Let me I forgot to send the picture to myself, so you'll have to wait. I won't be able to tell you about it just yet.
All right.
Hold on. But it's always just a reminder that like I'm just going to end up playing video games if you guys you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I sent it to myself. Now I can go over here. Open original. Save image. Oh, don't save it there, you goofball computer. We never said save it into that hard drive. We'll never be able to find it.
Right.
Yeah, we'll lose it. Okay. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am after 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 3 days of playing online Risk, I am officially a Grandmaster now.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Look at that. I've ranked all the way up to Grandmaster in online Risk. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Grandmaster already. Look at him. He's just a whiz kid at the old
Fabulous internet points.
I got those famous savvy internet points. That's right.
Nice.
So I gotta get about 13,000 more points to get up into the top 500. But considering I've kind of figured out the game at this point, I'm not saying I'm any kind of expert or anything. But
you are saying that you're a master.
But I'm a Grandmaster officially now. They've said that I am. So you know, the thing is that like I haven't 100% figured out the game yet, but I've definitely figured out the play. And how to survive and how to do well and how to continue. I actually had a win streak, baby. I had a 3-game win streak going. Yeah, it's because it's kind of weird. It's kind of fun because it's a really fun game. Like when I was a kid, I used to play it, and it's impossible to get people together to play the actual board game itself, right? Like, just imagine getting 6 people to come over and play Risk. It's like, it's not going to happen, right? So being able to play online is actually, it's actually a lot of fun, you know, once a kid goes to bed. And then Vicky's, like, watching her murder shows. I don't know what it is with women. They're just fixated watching these, like, shows about, like, well, he stabbed 6 people and then he was on the run. You know, and you're like, I don't want to know about that. That doesn't sound good. So if I sit there and keep her company, like watching this murder show, I'm going to have all these like weird dreams in the middle of the night, wondering if the Green River killer is going to come get me or something. Right. And, that's not a good feeling. I don't like those vibes, dude. It's not a good vibe check. Right. And, so I'm like, well, I got to find something to do, in that like last hour. Right. Before I go to bed while she's watching murder shows. So I've been playing online Risk for the last couple weeks. It's a lot of fun. And it's a new meta on YouTube. Like, it's gaining a lot of popularity on Twitch and YouTube. So I might live stream some of them or whatever, but like I think I'm just gonna record them and like put them up on a different channel or something and see if people enjoy my gameplay style while I sit here and kind of swear under my breath or whatever, muttering.
Could be like a Twitch streamer.
See, Gardaki's Playground is here in the chat saying, I was super into Risk. I was top 500. Are you on the Risk Discord? I did pop into the Risk Discord. I am on there. But it is a chaotic Discord, I will tell you. The Discord has like 8,000 members, and it's just pure insanity. So yeah, I haven't really done anything on this Discord. So I'm like, I don't like this at all. It's very it's very just chaotic. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. It's a bit too much. My Discord has like what 300, 400 members or something, and it's like pretty chill. Like we're gonna actually
Yeah.
have conversations about stuff and things. So yeah, there's no point of entry barrier to the Risk Discord. So it's just thousands of people or whatever, and then it was saying that like you can't leave that Discord if unless you get another invite. So I'm not sure. I might end up just leaving and being like, well, I don't know, somebody else has to invite me now or whatever. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. So I just was in there because I was like, I don't know if I want to have to find another invite, but I made I just muted it because I was like, what is all this insane notifications I'm getting? Gardaki's Playground loves zombie mode. I haven't really enjoyed the zombie mode that much, but that's just me. What's going on?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm in a few Discords, and I have most of them muted.
Yeah.
I can't have my pocket just jingling and jaggling it all day long. Yeah. It's just crazy. I'm too old for that.
Yeah. Alana Suki says, what? A 6-year-old shot their teacher. Yes, in Virginia, a 6-year-old shot their school teacher. The only bright part of that whole story is that the teacher, the last news article I read about it is that they did not die. That they were in critical condition but stable. And that's wild. Like it's just that is so unimaginably crazy that like a 6-year-old got a handgun and took it to school and shot their teacher. It's so crazy, And like I've talked about it on here that I'm an advocate for firearms. Like, yeah, sure, we should have firearms, but like irresponsible people like this with firearms is insane, and they should definitely go to jail for that. Like the parents should go to jail. Everyone should go to jail. Everyone.
Yeah.
Not the 6-year-old. The 6-year-old needs to be in custody and get whatever's going on in their home life is clearly broken, and they need to be put somewhere that is a much better environment, and the parents need to be put in jail for if I don't know, we'll wait to see what happens, what the police come back with or whatever, but if it is just like they just have loose guns lying around and 6-year-olds can get them, it's insane to me. That's bizarre. That is an extreme.
There's got to be some reason why the kid, one, thought that maybe that would be a fun plan, and two, was able to just get a hold of a firearm somehow.
Right.
And
I've talked about this before. Like, I mean, I have a 4-year-old, right?
Yeah.
The 6-year-olds are yes, they are definitely more mature than a 4-year-old. I will not argue that with anybody. Okay, just to put that preface out there. But a 6-year-old, similar to a 4-year-old, they have no idea the repercussions of their actions. They just have no. It does not exist in their mind, right?
Right.
And, it's one thing for a kid to have a crazy thought. And as a matter of fact, I think we've all had crazy thoughts. At some point in time, you've been in line at the grocery store while somebody is going crazy. And you're like, maybe I should slap this person for going crazy at the grocery store. But you're like, no, I probably shouldn't do that. You can have thoughts. People are allowed to have weird thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But your actions need to be controlled because you understand the ramifications of your actions, right?
Right.
4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, probably all the way up till eight, let's just say all the way up till 25. You probably don't realize the ramifications or the permanency of your actions. Obviously, 25-year-olds do, but you get the joke.
Right.
You know, it's like young people, they have no idea the permanence of what they're doing, and it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that those kids don't have access to stuff that can harm themselves or others, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very disturbing to me, actually.
Yeah, it's just wild. I don't know. I just heard about that before the stream, and I read a couple articles about it, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, okay. Like this is something that has to exist in my mind now, forever, basically. Is that like there's a possibility that a 6-year-old has got a firearm, right? It just seems out of the realm of possibility, but there it is. It's, you know, there it is.
There it is, being possible.
Right. You know, and then, you know, on the flip side, on the other side, it's like, you know, it's very easy to criticize police for pulling a gun on a kid that has a gun, and it turns out that it's like not a real gun, but it looks like a real gun, you know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like, but it's stories like that where you're like, well, I could imagine that's probably a part of why the cops are paranoid, but now I got to imagine that, like, I don't know, like the level of paranoia that our school teachers probably have just always on their mind a little bit. I don't know. And I mean, I could probably relate to it a little bit with like my earlier rant about the stress level 11 thing. And just being so like objectively stressed out all the time. I don't know. I mean, I've literally gained weight over the last like 6 months being this stressed out all the time. You know, probably has something to do with like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna eat some ice cream because F it, I don't care. I just don't care right now. I just need to like have some kind of joy right now. Which, admittedly, like,
medicating your sadness with food.
Well, yeah, actually, you know, it's one of those things that, like, when I got into recovery, you guys know I've been sober for a grip now. Let me find my calendar. Where'd my calendar go? I've been sober for 3,163 days. That's 8 years, 7 months, and 27 days. And one of the things that, like, when I got into recovery, I was talking to an old timer guy who had 30 something years of recovery, right? He's been sober for 30 whatever years. And I was talking with him, and however we got onto the topic of like eating junk food, right?
Yeah.
And he brought up a point where he goes like, what are the ramifications for you? And he brought up milkshakes because milkshakes were his thing, right? He was like, he would like stop and get milkshakes, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, what are the ramifications if I stop and get a milkshake? If you sit down right now and have a milkshake, you might have a little bit of a tummy ache. It's obviously contributing to like your higher levels of sugar. You'll probably gain in some way, you're probably going to gain a little bit of weight, right? Like obviously if you do this every day, eventually you'll gain a lot of weight, right? But he's like, what are the ramifications of having a milkshake right now while you're freaking out and thinking all of this crazy stuff? If you're like, I'm just going to have a milkshake. I'm just going to have a milkshake and chill out. Like that's what I'm going to do right now. It's going to be 20 minutes of joy and then probably an hour of a coma from the sugar, right? You know, but he goes like, what's the difference between that and like doing something dramatic like drinking a half bottle of whiskey and going on a bender for the next 6 months, right? And it really stuck in my mind of going like, you can make a small dramatic decision, right? Like you can make a small dramatic decision, like I'm going to sit down and eat this whole cake, right? Or something, right?
Right.
Which if continued behavior like that, you will have long-term ramifications. You're going to, but you know, we already went down the list, heart disease, whatever, right?
Right.
Um, but the short-term ramifications are well in the realm of repairing versus the long-term ramifications of a dramatic action, right? And
Yeah.
it really kind of stood out to me. It really really stood out to me at the time of like, yeah, you know what? Like, F it. If I got to go eat some cookies or something because I am straight up like freaking out and I'm thinking about, well, I don't, I could call some people and we could, yeah, it's like, all right, that's not a healthy thought process. Having some cookies is not the most healthy thought process either, but it's far less dramatic than this like outrageous decision, right? So
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of stuck with me, and it's probably a little too much of a crutch over the last 6 months or whatever. But like, also at the same time, I'm like, how are you supposed to deal with this stuff? I mean, I could go jogging. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I could do more jogging. It's true. But the weather is shit.
Tough.
It's so cold.
Tough,
It's
though,
so dark
'cause,
out. Like,
food addiction is a real thing as well.
right.
So, yeah, like, and then with food addiction, it's like you can't just go cold turkey and not eat food anymore. You have to eat food, or you're gonna die.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so that's
Yeah, like if I don't drink
definitely
beer anymore, I'm not going to die.
right.
Right. Yeah. I'll be fine. As a matter of fact, I'll
might
probably be better
faint.
off.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but the food thing is hard, and it is kind of difficult to make changes. But, I mean, I know for me, it's like I go to work, like I definitely could afford to get like a little more sleep. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of projects. There's a lot of stuff going on, and at every turn, it's just like getting like I said earlier, it's like getting kicked in the balls. I mean, it's like every time, it's like, Jesus, can we just like we make a major step to like resolve a stupid big situation, right? And then it's just like, here you go. Here's another one. Here's another one, stupid. Like, here's another stupid thing you got to deal with. Here's another. Oh yeah, here you go. Have that on your plate, And it's been a bit much. I don't know. Just to be honest, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Can we take it easy here for a bit, and just keep going forward? So I don't know. It's kind of weird, and like on top of it, within the last week, as I mentioned last week, I felt like I was gonna die on Wednesday because I had to get up I had to take the old folks, Olivia's grandparents, to the airport at 3 a.m. And it was like, losing that hour of sleep was like, oh my God, I just was, all day was a struggle of like, what am I? Okay, gotta do that, gotta do this. Okay, go over there. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, go back, go get that thing. Oh, you do this thing. I was out of having a really hard day. And then, but like the sleep thing was bad, and I'll admit to that I just did not get enough sleep that night, and I was having a really hard day. I got through the day, I got all the stuff done I was supposed to get done, but then like, there was also like the added emotional side of it because like now grandma and grandpa are out on the boat on the Miami or whatever the hell, wherever the hell they are. And like, I don't know. To me, it's like, that's the one set of grandparents that have been like incredibly supportive just from a standpoint of like being involved in Olivia's life, being around, just being available, like coming to the house and like hanging out and doing all that kind of stuff. And like all of her other grandparents are aloof or in another state or whatever. And I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I also can't ask my mom to like, hey, put your life on hold, like, can you put your life on hold, bro? Like, don't do any of that stuff that you wanted to do. So like at the same time, I have to respect like my mom's autonomy for like the things that she wants to do in her life. And I definitely do. But it's like, it's also kind of like heartbreaking that like now they're 10-hour plane flight or however long it is, Even if it's a 6-hour flight, you still got to get there 4 hours early, right? To leave.
Right. It's like it's a whole day worth of traveling.
Yeah. And the plane tickets and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Just been kind of disheartening, but I don't know. Just keep muddling on, I guess. One foot in front of the other. Man, our memberships we're back in the double digits, Alyssa. What are we going to do?
Haven't we been in the double digits for this whole time?
All day today, yeah. It's a Debbie Downer day around here. We're only at 89 members. It's not good. It's not good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, somebody was
I don't
asking
know
the
what-
other day, they were like, what's the level of membership you got to get to do YouTube full time? And I was like, you don't want to know because that's like a heartbreaker.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tricky. Like I realize that I'm not too much of a salesperson. Like I work retail now, and
Right.
you know, my favorite fish is the bristlenose. Do
Mm-hmm.
you know how seldom it is that I actually sell anybody a bristlenose?
Oh,
It's
really?
like, yeah, like nobody freaking wants them. They're like, I want a Chinese algae eater. I'm like, why?
Right. Like, why? What for? They're like, they're going to eat my algae. And you're like, no, not really. But okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that algae eater is in the name.
Yeah.
And so they say, well, that's what I should get, though, is the Chinese algae eater. And I like the golden ones. And so that's why I'm getting the Chinese algae eater and not these, you know, Siamese algae eaters or whatever they are.
Right.
And I'm like, and I say, you know that when they grow up, they're going to eat your fish, slime coat and stuff, right? And they're like, what happens? I'll just bring them back. I'm like, we're not going to take them back, man.
Right. Yeah.
Good
Is
luck.
yeah, I love that thing. Like, oh, I'll just bring the pet back to the store because I'm
Right.
not prepared to handle it for the entirety of its life. You're like, well, then why are
Right.
you buying this? Like, why? What are you doing? But
don't
you
know
can't.
why
Yeah, I mean,
they
you
have-
can't say that to people because it's a retail setting, and like now all of a sudden the store is a jerk or something, you know. And it's like,
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
The manager, one of my managers, was telling me about how she was talking to somebody who wanted to buy like 5 goldfish for their 5-gallon tank or something like that. And she
Right.
was sitting there and trying very hard to very politely explain to them how to take care of these goldfish. And the person just like snapped and was like, are you saying you're not going to sell me these goldfish? And she said, I really don't want to. And then they gave the store like a 1-star review saying that they are combative and won't sell the fish and blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, we care about the fish. You know? I don't know. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it's like 98% of the time, it's a good experience. It's just, you know, there's always those like people who stand out.
Yeah, there are a lot of standout customers. That's for sure. Every business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God, Alana Suki had the kids weren't allowed to play at recess because there was some creep out there in the bushes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Alana also says, I don't want to sleep. When I go to sleep, then I have to wake up and go to work again. If I stay awake longer, it takes longer before I have to go to work. True. True facts, homie. True facts.
One of my friends used to call falling asleep or blacking out, used to call it, what's it? Time travel.
Oh, yeah. Alana posted, some jerk posted a review on Google about PetSmart because the manager didn't want to sell him 2 goldfish to go into his 10-gallon tank that already had 2 goldfish in it.
Oh my God.
Quote, if you ever want to buy fish there, just lie to the name and tell her that you have an empty 1-million-gallon tank and you should be okay. Yeah, I got a 1,000,000-gallon tank. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's the weird thing is that like, people get advice like at stores.
Uh-huh.
It's like that's good advice because your fish are going to die. Like, it's not like you need to have a 1,000,000-gallon tank. It's like you have a habitat that's too small, even for the 2 fish that you have now, let alone like
Uh-huh.
adding more fish to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. And let's see. I always kind of like it when it's somebody who admits that they're very new to fish keeping and they actually want advice, and they'll come up with like a list of fish that they had their eye on,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll look at it and I'll be like, all right, so if you put your betta in with your goldfish, one of the two is gonna die.
Right.
Either your betta is gonna harass your goldfish to death and it's gonna be too hot for your goldfish, or it's gonna be too cold for your betta and your goldfish is gonna eat him.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's so wild. Yeah. I mean, it's like if you bring a penguin and put him in your summertime in your desert yard, right? Like, well, I don't understand
Right.
why he died. What's the deal? And you're like,
Right.
it feels like almost a conversation not worth having if you're at this level of brain function. But yeah, all right, yeah.
I had one lady who she really wanted to get a powder blue gourami and a flame gourami, red and blue, and put
You
them
mean
in
the
the
peanut
same
butter?
tank. Yeah, the peanut butter gourami. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, it's the peanut butter gourami, and the flame gourami, and
yeah.
put them in the same tank. And I was like, they're gonna fight each other. And she's like, oh, I'm pretty sure that one there is a female. And I'm like, maybe. Uh, I'm not the expert on sexing gouramis, but and and she's like, oh, it'll be fine. If they fight, I have another tank, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you've got another tank and you're aware of the risks, then I'm fine with getting you the two, blah blah blah. So I got her the two,
Yeah.
and she went on her happy little way. She was all happy. And the next day, she came back, screaming her head off at the owner for the fact that she had she was saying that I had said that they would be okay in the tank together, that I had, advised her poorly, that
Hmm.
I was not able to catch the correct fish and was abusing them in the tank, that I was forcing the fish to be like mean to each other or something like that, and that's why her fish were fighting, and that she is never going to shop there again, and so she doesn't want store credit, she wants a return, and just da 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 da, and she wanted me to be fired, and etc., and just all this stuff. And I'm like, just return your fish and go.
It's true.
Like, accept that you were wrong, one, and then return your fish and go. Like, literally, I don't understand why she was trying to get me fired or anything like that, other than the fact that she was probably just embarrassed for being super wrong. And and I don't know.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time. And so then, and the owner, he didn't even know who had given her the fish at all. He had no idea who had talked to her or anything like that. So like after work, he was talking about this whole situation, and I was like, "Oh no, that was me." And this is how it actually happened, and blah blah blah. And I like told him the story, and he was like, "Oh, I hate people like that."
Yeah, it's hard. Like, and like Gardaki says, don't hate the customers. And it's like, nobody hates the customers. People dislike these like irrationally negative interactions. That's the big problem. Is that they're like, look, if something wrong had been done, then that's great to be upset. It makes sense to be upset, right? Like if there is a valid reason to be upset about the situation or something, it's like, great, okay, let's just focus on resolution, right? But when it's an irrational, like I'm just angry, even though you got good advice, you had a good situation, you actually received the proper advice, and then you turn around and they're just like irrationally like rage filled, right? And like posting up on the internet and then coming to like, you know, yell at other customers or yell at the workers who just work there or something, you know. That's what people dislike, is that like irrational negative interaction, right? And it's not unique to customers, it's not unique to retail. It is a human like condition, right? So it's kind of one of those things, like it's unique to humans, right? It's like the 6-year-old going to shoot the teacher, like that's unique to humans, right? Like this is a very unique human situation, right? And it's not that young animals don't attack other animals, that's not what I'm saying, but it's very uniquely human that that would be happening, and it's very uniquely human that like people are just outraged at like getting good advice, you know. Gardaki says, I remember when I was irrational in the hobby, so I'm sympathetic. I am sympathetic and empathetic to people that, you know, are in need of probably some better coaching or whatever, that kind of stuff is true. But I'm also sympathetic and empathetic to the people that are receiving the brunt of that bad behavior, right? So it's a very difficult situation where you go like, okay, if like, let's say that the worker was doing that to a customer, it's like the resolution is pretty straightforward. Like you're probably going to fire that worker or reprimand them in some other methodology, right? But when it's the customer, it's like you just have to kowtow to people's like bad, terrible behavior, right? You know, and I never endorsed like throwing people out of the bar or throwing people out of the restaurant or whatever, but it was a reality in my past when I ran restaurants and stuff that customers would get out of hand. Like, and when people got out of pocket, eventually it fell on the workers to be the security force to physically interact with other customers, right?
Yeah.
And like that level of responsibility falling on people that don't even remotely have the ability to like properly physically interact with people that are acting that way, like it leads to a much more dangerous situation, not only for the workers but for the person that is being that customer, right? You know, like one of the restaurants that I worked at, we had this guy who was trying to claim he was going to sue everybody around because he grabbed a waitress because he was drunk, was asked to leave without even like bringing the police in or anything, and he punched one of the bartenders, right? And so all of the bartenders and kitchen staff physically mangled this guy out into the street. And I'm not going to elaborate on the story, but there was a more altercation out in the street, right? So he wanted to sue everybody involved, right? I'm going to sue everybody. He came back like a couple weeks later, and he's like, I'm suing everybody. I need the information on like the people that worked here, blah, blah, blah. If not, like, I'll get an investigator to find it and blah, 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 this and the other thing. And it was like, dude, if you want to investigate the crimes you committed, right, to begin what happened to you after the fact, you feel free to do that. Bring the police down here. We'll file a full report. We have cameras of you interacting in here previous to what happened after, right? And we'll see how it shakes out, because you're going to jail, buddy. And then you can sue us once you get out of jail, right? And it's
Right.
just a perfect example of like this guy feeling like, oh, something was done wrong to me. And it's like, you wronged other people first. And then like the repercussions were more than you wanted to handle, which is, I understand, like that sucks, right? Like nobody wants to get beat up or whatever, right? Like, but you kind of started the ball rolling here. Like you were the guy standing in the middle of the court with the ball, and instead of, playing basketball, you decided to start playing dodgeball with people that didn't even sign up for it, right? So it's it's just stuff like that where you're like, well, what do we do here? Like who's at fault? Well, the customer's always right. And it's like, is the customer right to grab the genitals of your waitresses, right? Like, is the customer always right? Like, at what point is the customer not right? It's like, oh, well, I guess once the customer physically sexually assaults a worker, then they're in the wrong. Oh, okay. So the boundary is they have to physically assault somebody in order to be in the wrong.
Oh
Well,
my god.
yeah. And it's just like, okay, hey, man, we're operating in all of this gray area where we're trying to do our best to accommodate all customers and everybody that comes in and everything that goes on. What are we supposed to do when it really does get out of hand? Because you're like, the irrational customer comes in and starts screaming and stuff. It's like, you got to de-escalate. But also, like, where's this gonna go? Like, somebody is already making these like wild interactions with strangers they don't even know, right? And so it's definitely a weird, dicey situation to be in. But like, that's why I always advocate to have like security cameras and stuff like that, because at least if it's recorded, then you at least have an opportunity for at least
to be able to point to evidence.
right. Yeah, at least have some kind of evidence of what happened or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. I just got to say, after the red and blue gourami situation, I have been able to just, like, somebody comes in and they're like, I want this pearl gourami, and I want a flame gourami, and a powder blue gourami, and I'll be like, they are going to fight each other in your tank, and then you will be very sad, and you will
Right.
come back and you will be very angry. So pick one.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, I didn't know. And I'll be like, these guys are very similar to betta fish, which are also known as the Siamese fighting fish. They will fight. They will fight each other. They want
Right.
to do that. They want to kill each other. So pick one. And then you'll be happy. And then they'll say, oh, huh.
Yeah.
And then they'll pick one. And it's fine.
Yeah. Alana says, the customer is always right in the matters of taste, which means if you want to buy the ugliest sweater in the store that makes you look like a balloon animal, go for it. Which I will agree on that. And like to kind of parallel the taste comment, right? So like I actually had a customer come in and they wanted this crazy food combination. I don't even remember what it was. It was just like they're making all these insane modifiers to one of the items on the menu, right? And I was like, look, go tell them this is going to be bad, to the waiter, right? Like, this is going to be terrible. They are not going to like it. So he goes out, comes back. He's like, well, I couldn't convince him. That's what he wants. That's all he wants. That's the only thing he wants. And I'm like, okay, go back out, and if he's willing to pay for this dish and the next dish he orders to replace it, I'll agree to make it, right? Like, you're on the hook for both. You don't get one of these for free once you've modified it to this point, because I didn't have anything to do with designing this dish. Like, you come in and say some insane nonsense, and I'm supposed to make it, and then you don't like it because it's insane, right? I was like, if they agree to pay for both, when they ask for a replacement dish, I'll make it. Lo and behold, they came back and said, they'll have this with no tomatoes on it, right? Or whatever it was. It was like, it was like, they'll have that with no one basic thing like removed, and it was like, okay, that's cool. And the funny thing is like, I've had a lot of interactions like that in the restaurant industry where they'll, the customer is actually happy at the end of it, you know, because they just got like basic advice of like, hey, look, man, you can do this if you want, but you're the one that's paying for it. I'm like, I'm the chef. These are my food margins. I'm not here to like be cooking food, wacky food ideas for people for at the cost of the business, right?
Right.
Like I gotta
just like wasting the food.
yeah. I mean, I have food costs, and I can't just waste food on people's like willy nilly crazy ideas that they came up with on their way down to the restaurant, right? Like, because I'm like that cuts into my bottom line for paying these guys that work here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those goofy situations, you know. I'm like, if you want the thing on the menu and you want to remove some of the stuff, okay, all right, but you know, we can understand that. Like if you get a burger and you don't want any onion on it, okay, it's still a burger, and I'm sure you're gonna be happy with it, right?
Yeah.
You just don't happen to like onions, or you don't happen to like mayo or or whatever, right?
Right.
Like that's not a big deal. But when it gets down to like, you know, oh, I want chicken parmesan, but I don't want Parmesan cheese. I want this other cheese, and I can make it out of halibut, and I don't want these noodles. I want different noodles, but can you just put basil on it and then this and like all this crazy stuff? And you're just like, I don't know what. Go home, cook your own thing. It sounds like you want to go do that. Like go do that. Yeah, you know, just wacky.
Yeah.
Noser says I'm late, and this is the conversation I fall into. That's right, buddy.
Heck yeah.
That's what you get for being late. Oh, Zip Gun's here. Zip's late.
Hey, Zip.
Zip's probably busy. We do sometimes say you can do this, but we will not honor any guarantee on the fish. They cannot be returned. Yeah, I think most stores I see do like a 5-day or a 1-week return window of like, well, I took him home, I put him in my tank, and he just died like the next day. You know, like I mean, most places will guarantee something like that or give you a store credit or something, but.
Yeah.
You know, it's the chef dynamic of like, yeah, you could probably do that, but you're the one that's going to pay for it, right? It's like, you know, you want to put those goldfish in there, like you pay for it, you're not getting any money back, and I don't like that you're going to do that to those fish, but they're probably not going to make it, you know, like,
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
sign this release of interest, right?
Yeah, we do that too. We have a little code that we put on the fish bag so that the cashier knows
Right.
for their report or whatever, and whatever it is that they do up front. And
Right.
yeah, because sometimes I'm like, okay, you can do that, but I can't guarantee that this is gonna work. I can't guarantee you're going against my advisement.
Yeah. That is going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we're a couple hours in, so I think we got to go because I'm going to go. Oh, yeah. The other kick in the balls, I forgot to mention this. We've got a $740 electric bill in the mail.
Wow.
For a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd. So something's going on with the heat pump HVAC here, so it's just like running the auxiliary heat every time. I don't know. So yeah, I ran my meter on all the circuits in the house and everything, and the only thing that's drawing that kind of electricity is the heat, the furnace for the building runs off of a heat pump, but it also has like auxiliary heating in the exchanger inside. And pretty sure that's just been running nonstop. Not nonstop, but it seems like it's running every single time. So our normal electric bill is $125 a month. So all of a sudden with the last month, super cold weather, it multiplies by 7. It's just insane. So now we got to have a tech come out and see what's going on with the nonsense that is. You know, because we even checked with the power company to make sure that the meter reading was correct and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so it's insane.
Yeah, I know Justin he's considering switching from our current central furnace to a heat pump because he's read that they're better or something. And I'm like, I have no idea anything about heat pumps or how that would work with our current house.
Well, heat pumps are great, but I think you guys currently have a gas. I think you guys have a gas furnace.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We've got a gas.
So
Furnace.
gas for heating is going to be your best option here where we live.
Yeah. I think our main issue is that we don't have any insulation in the house. And so if we
Right.
were to actually insulate the house, the heat would stay within the house a little bit better. And also, we're not sure why, but the heat does not actually go up the HVAC into the rest of the house. And it would be great if it did that. And it just kind of goes on the main floor and not to the top floor.
Right.
And we're not sure why. And so we just kind of need to have like an HVAC guy come out and take a look at it, I think, and see what's going on. And we just haven't done that either. That's just sort of things.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it figured out. But the best thing that you guys could do is, yes, insulate. You have zero insulation in your house.
Right.
So that's going to be probably step one. But if you were going to get a heat pump, you basically would want to be doing what Vicky and I did in the Tacoma house, which was we actually got a mini split and installed that into the heads go on the wall, right? And they go into the specific areas that you want to heat and cool, right? Instead of heating the whole entire building, so for instance, like in our last house, like Vicky's office was all the way up in the top floor, and it would just get so insanely hot, and there really was no way to insulate up there the way that it was built.
Yeah.
We did all the insulating we could, but there just wasn't enough to make it comfortable. So we installed a mini split that ran those head units up there, and then they could just sit there and kind of run some casual AC throughout the day and keep the temperature down in the top floor. So she could just work like in a regular office. So instead of it being like 100 up there, it was like 72. Yeah, so I think you guys probably would want some targeted cooling because you already have heat.
Yeah.
And if it's not reaching a certain area, which we did have problems. We did have slight problems with that because of the lack of insulation on the top floor also. So that mini split, what it would do is it would just heat the rooms up there a bit to keep them from freezing and then freezing the rest of the house, heading down the cold air coming from above. So it would just keep the rooms up there at like, 64 or something goofy like that in the winter. And you could always turn it up a little bit if you wanted. Yeah. So.
I mean, right now we just use a space heater if we're going to be up there.
Right. Which is terribly
That's
inefficient, by the way.
True.
The space heaters are
I
the
know.
worst.
Yeah.
But all right, we gotta end the show. All right, here we
All right.
very unceremoniously push the button.
Okay.